The 1980s was the boom for Japan. It was the time they used to call the Japanese miracle. Everything that was new, that was small, that was cool and electronic was coming out of Japan. And I arrived in the summer of '89, which was the exact end of that period. And it wasn't clear at the time, but it was right then that really the bubble had busted. And I really had a front seat looking at this every day. Students who would talk to me and share. It was hard. It was sad sometimes. But it was also a good thing. Everything I hear about those early 80s before I came people talk about the stories and smile and laugh, but hardly anybody says they want to go back to it. It was very excessive. I was born in Milwaukee and I grew up in Milwaukee and I went to school in Milwaukee. My family's here. I left Milwaukee really immediately after high school, and I was really not living here for quite a long time. When I moved to Japan, of course, I didn't really think I would ever come back while I was there. It's so far away. I've never really traveled that far away, and I couldn't imagine coming back until I was done. But then my brother got married the first year I was gone, and I had to come back. And I realized it was really good to keep the contacts here. And better than ever in some ways, to be close to my family and see some friends. Japan is a very isolated place to be, considering that they're so modernized and their business ventures stretch across the globe, and they did even 20, 25 years ago. And yet when you're in Japan, some things seem so normal and so much like things you would see here, but it is still a very, very isolated place. It's hard to really feel like you're completely fitting in. It gets easier after a while. So the contacts with family and friends sometimes become more important. I found myself getting closer to friends and family when I went to Japan than I had been for many years when I was merely a few hours away. Well, it was last year that I first got a taste of what Japan is for people in this country. I was sitting on this number 30 bus one night, and this whole troop of young people got on in all kinds of amazing costumes, tights in different colors and painted silver, and they had swords and laser guns and helmets, and they all just got in and they were all chatting together, and I just had to turn around and say, hey, you're all awesome. What are you doing and where are you going? And they couldn't stop telling me about there's this anime convention happening right now in Milwaukee. Do you know about anime? Because it's really good, you know. And we're here, we came in from out of town because we're all different anime characters, you know. And they all introduced themselves. And they went on, and then they said they were off and they said goodbye. And I just couldn't help thinking, gosh, you know, people who have claimed that Japan, modern Japan, has nothing to offer culturally to the modern world. And when I first went there, I sometimes wondered. And I thought, well, here's the proof. You know, anime rules. And you don't have to speak Japanese to enjoy this. It's all visual. And, you know, if you watch the video, the cartoons, you know, they put this horrific dubbing over it, and it doesn't matter because it's the artwork, and it's the energy of it that you don't have to know the language.